When you want to nest, you can use the insert function, and this is my preferred method because I've got a memory like a sieve, so I don't want to memorize every function I use. And I prefer to use the FX button, but remember there's several ways to go into the insert function. If you want to look at more ways, it's in the basic calculations course. So I'm just going to click on this one. I get my insert function, and for this one I'm going to use the example of extracting the year from the current date. So I want to start with the year function, so it returns a year. And I need to put a serial number, and the serial number is a date time code used by Microsoft. Now in this one, if I had a cell with a date in, I could click on it and it would extract the year from that date. I don't. I want it to change every year. So I'm going to nest this, and only one argument, so my cursor is already there. I click up to the top, and now I scroll down and I find it. The function I'm going to use is called now, and there are no arguments for now. It is just now, open and close bracket, end of. So I don't have to do anything, but I do not click on OK. Don't do that. Go back up to the formula bar, go to your original one, which you can see is not bold. The active one is in bold. Click on that. It shows me my function arguments for that function, and in this case the only argument is the serial number, which has the now function in it. That's all I need. I click on OK. So that's always quite good. I'm just going to show you one more time, but this one with the if statement that we used in the previous lesson. So we had our normal if, which is fine, but then we nested them. So I'm just going to go through that again. I'm just going to use this bonus TF, and on the appraisal score, if it's a 4, I'm going to put big bonus, and if it's a 2, not so big. And if it's a 3, I'm going to put other. Okay, so I start with my FX again, and I go into my if, and I have my logical test. Now for this one, I'm going to put my logical test information in first, because I'm actually nesting in my false. And for me, it's easier if I go through each of these arguments one at a time. So my logical test is going to be that this is equal to 2, and then the word not so big. I have to make sure I've clicked into my value of false. My cursor has to be flashing there. And then I go back up to this corner here. I click on it. If I didn't see the if there, I could have clicked on the drop down. Be very careful, because I find that sometimes if I click on the drop down, Excel doesn't acknowledge that, or maybe I was off a little bit, and it selects this function. So always take a look to see, did it put quotes around it? Did it put a comma separator? Did it put my if in the right position? The function arguments will change to show the function arguments for whatever function you've just selected, so the new function. Now I'm going to say that the appraisal score is equal to 4. Sorry about all the noise in the background. And we have the value if true, and I'm going to say it's a big bonus, and otherwise it's an other bonus. Okay. If I needed to go back, I can click on this if, that's fine, and I can see, or I can click on this if. So basically, you are you're clicking on the function you want to look at the function arguments. And you notice on this one, I've gone back to my second if, and I've got a big red on it. This is something else I love about function arguments, is I can tell before I click on OK if there's going to be, an error. So I click on other, click somewhere else, it puts the quotes around. That's all it was because I went back, it didn't have time to put the quotes on, and I didn't type them in. Now I'm finished. I can click on OK, and if I copy that down, I get my nested if. So it's quite easy to create a nested if using the fx.